So you all must know about the Sculk Sensor, and unless you've been living under a rock or have played 1.8 the whole of your life, you would know that this block was released properly into the natural world with the world update aka 1.19 in the depths of the deep dark, though it was first hinted to us before the release of 1.17, and to some of us Redstoners it seemed like something that would truly revolutionize how you automate contraptions, but it only took me a while to realize that this was practically useless. It was a motion sensor, yeah, but it literally detected everything, from you placing a block to a sheep walking across your meticulously placed TNT trap. So unless you knew really how to configure this thing, it was pretty much impossible to use. Yeah, you could use comparators and stuff, but for the average player this was out of their reach. And you could use it in some places if you used the wall occlusion properly to cover up the area you don't want to listen to, but in general it was a bit dull. It was pretty dull actually, and it seemed to me like it was only good in builds or to summon the warden. However, recently Minecraft have released a few snapshots, aka sneak peeks into the future, for 1.20, starting with 23W12A, which introduced to us a calibrated sculk sensor, a calibrated motion detector. That seemed like a version that had finally gotten a good use. Even though Mojang did say they were done with big features previously, I think this one is the biggest in my eyes. And to start off with, look at the range difference. So on the left we have the sculk sensor, and on the right we have the calibrated sculk sensor. The calibrated one has a radius of around 16, technically 17 if we count the middle, and the sculk sensor has a radius of 8 blocks. That's almost double, that's pretty much double the area and double the radius. And now on screen I'll be showing you a picture from the Minecraft developer, King B-Dogs, that shows us the areas around the sculk sensor corresponding to different signal strengths. So if it detects stuff further away, it will mean a weaker signal strength. If it detects stuff closer to it, it will mean a stronger signal strength. Now double the area of detection will be particularly useful for something we'll talk about later on. But first we have to come to the crafting recipe, of course, because you can't really have a new item without a crafting recipe. And so the recipe for this one is a sculk sensor surrounded by 3 amethyst shards. And of course you'll get this really cool looking sculk sensor. And if you didn't know how it looks like this. Yeah, pretty cool. It really looks quite special. I mean, it just looks like you've tweaked the original sculk sensor, being this block, and have added like a sort of amethyst vibe to it. It's almost like we've adapted this for our own needs. And maybe Redstone will come into this. But now we get to the main reason why this is such a game changer. To understand how it works, we have to understand the word frequency, in terms of Minecraft of course, because that's a thing now. Everything that happens in Minecraft, whether it's an action, an interaction, all these events give out vibrations that can be detected by these sensors, and they correspond to a particular frequency, going up to a maximum of 15. We'll explain why 15 in a second, but Mojang has thankfully simplified this frequency table with the vibration and events corresponding to their frequency values, so I'll link this down below. But if we look at this frequency table, moving around is an action or event that happens in Minecraft, and we can use this table to see what those vibrations link to, and in this instance it's a frequency value of 1, and if we were ever to eat or drink a potion, we can link this to a frequency value of 8. Now this new sculk sensor is amazing because we can make it listen to only one particular frequency, and therefore we can make it listen to only one group of vibrations or events referenced in the table. We can do this by inputting a redstone signal into the sculk sensor's calibrated side, or the one that has the amethyst embedded into it. The signal strength that goes into the sensor from the value of 0 to 15 will correspond to the frequency value it will only listen to, and they both have a max value of 15, so it matches perfectly. So the easiest way to do this is to get a lectern, and we can get a book and quill, and we can get ourselves a comparator. We'll place our comparator facing into this amethyst side of the sculk sensor, and then a lectern behind that, and then we can open this book, and on each consecutive page we can write the numbers 1 to 15. For example, 1 on page 1, 2 on page 2, 3 on page 3,
2,000 years later,
13, 14, and 15. Now the reason why you write on each page is to solidify the page itself, so when you close the book it just doesn't wipe out the page. So then we click done, and now this book has pages 1 to 15. If it doesn't have pages 1 to 15, then you did something wrong. You should be writing numbers into each page. For example, if I switch to page 23, and if I click done, 23 pages aren't there anymore, because I haven't written in them. Right now, we can literally place this book on the lectern. You'll see the comparator turn on, and all the comparator will do really is take the signal strength from reading the page the lectern's on. For example, page 5, the comparator will output a signal of 5, page 15 will output a signal strength of 15, because that is the max amount of pages and the max amount of signal strength. Right, so this is a really cool mechanic, by the way. I'm so excited for this to come into the game. But let's try and make this Sculk sensor only listen to us eating or drinking, which we now know gives off a frequency of 8. So we can use this and turn the book's lectern pages to page 8. So now the lectern is being read by the comparator, and the comparator is outputting a signal strength of 8, which will be matched by the frequency the Sculk sensor will only listen to. So if I walk around, as you can see, the Sculk sensor does not detect anything because these do not give off a frequency of 8. I could explode something here and it wouldn't detect it until we drink something. Look at that. It detected it. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? So you can make like a secret entrance, hear me out, and you could just drink next to the door and it'll open. Amazing! This might seem a bit complicated at first, but trust me, if you get your head around it, then you can do a lot of stuff with this. This is probably one of the best ways of coding the Sculk sensor into what you want it to listen out for, because all you need to do is turn a page, and that is pretty much one of the simplest things you could do. Okay, so now we have a setup here. We have the Sculk sensor on this side, and on this side we have the Calibrated Sculk Sensor, and obviously a wall in between because the Sculk sensor can detect anything, including that piston, those pistons moving in that Sculk sensor over there. But if we move around, you can see this opens. This is one of the most simplest doors to make, by the way. It's a Jeb door. Regardless, this is pretty much the problem with the Sculk sensor. You walk around, a secret base is not so secret anymore. I mean, you could have like a sheep, and when the sheep moves, it opens the door. And yeah, this is the problem with this. I mean, yes, it's alright. You can try to use will occlusion, as in you can try and block out the signals from this side and maybe allow them from this side, so people have to walk up, which is alright. But again, like, it's not perfect. Yeah, it's just gonna happen like this in an infinite loop. Yeah, no, it carries on. But this side, it needs no introduction and no wool. Like, no wool at all. You don't need wool. Wool is pretty much exempt from this. All you need is a water bottle. Drink, and just go through. Look how seamless that was. A sheep?
You ain't gonna do anything to this, are you?
Literally, like, drink and walk through. It could just be you munching some bread. And this is all you need. Obviously, you can make this more compact, probably. Honestly, this is one of the simplest you can get with this block now in the game. And I also want to show you guys this really cool idea for a base. If I can land this correctly, I can make a door that can only activate when it hears the gliding of an elytra. I mean, isn't that insane? Look at that, that was perfect! Yes, imagine. And again, this is one of the most simplest things. What it actually uses is it uses a second Sculk sensor down here. Actually, it's hidden. You can kind of hear it activating, but we'll get to that in a minute. You can also use this for traps. So if I go here and get some TNT, so we can make a simple TNT trap with this. We need some test subjects. I'm sorry, sheep. And we can get a bow and arrow. And absolute destruction. Nothing else activated it apart from a bow and arrow. And finally, we can use this block for communication, because Mojang has introduced a major use case for the Amethyst block, and it's something called vibration resonance. We are here with the final, maybe final feature, probably not to be fair, there's more snapshots to come, but this is Amethyst chaining, otherwise known as vibration resonance. Actually, if I increase my FOV, you can probably see better. If I move around, you can see the particles of the Sculk sensor chaining. Look at that! And now Amethyst has a proper use. I mean, before it was just a block, and now the Amethyst block itself has a use. I mean, this is incredible. You can literally create the internet with this, if you wanted to. I doubt it would be fast, but it could still be done. It allows Sculk sensors to pass on signals from one to another. And I gotta say, this is one of the best use cases of this block. Who would have expected this? And yet it's here. And when it chains to the different Sculk sensor, it keeps a frequency it detects. So if I walk around, that's a frequency of 1. So it keeps that frequency and stores it and passes it on to the next Sculk sensor. And over here, I have a calibrated Sculk sensor calibrated to me drinking a water bottle, which is a frequency of 8. And so when I walk around, it doesn't detect that. It doesn't take any of it in because it's not a frequency of 8. But if I go over here and drink something, you can see it lit up. Let me just go into a different FOV again. Look, it lit up. Isn't that amazing? That's basically decoding a signal. And that is amazingly done by Mojang. I can't wait to see what else they have. And this, not to mention, this can also be done by regular Sculk sensors. And this is why the big radius, the 60 block radius, is so much better, because you can space them out so much more. Look how much less effort you need to put in now. That can hear me from over here. I can walk around here. All the way. This takes 3. This takes 4. It could probably take less, if I'm being honest. And this means you can have pretty much a form of data storage and communication, and I'm not an expert in this type of stuff and logical redstone, but this could be a big part of some designs. The inspiration for this obviously comes from Ray's works, who actually showed off a really cool and simple memory device that can hold a single frequency in a loop, and so therefore store a single piece of data. And I must say that is pretty cool if you ask me. So obviously this is a big deal. And there's probably so much more potential I've missed or haven't talked about, but I wanted to give you guys a heads up because this is one heck of a useful addition to Minecraft that might someday be even better because there are plenty more snapshots to come in which we might see some more changes. So none of this is concrete just yet, but if you have enjoyed the Redstone video, this one especially, then drop a like and head over to one of these 2 other videos to catch some more from me. And hey, if you're new to Skyblock like me, maybe you should check out this first episode of my Skyblock adventure. Maybe you'll like it, and if not, the right video is there for you, and I'll catch you over there.